Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here to preview the Tennessee Titans versus the Cleveland Browns Week 13 2020 NFL season matchup, a battle between two 8-3 teams, two 8-3 AFC teams that are looking to clinch a playoff spot ever so soon. The Titans still in front of their division, Browns trying to catch up, not much real estate to catch up, but at the very least trying to get in better position for a wild card spot in the AFC. Remember, there are 3 this season, so the Browns are in position, but with the Miami Dolphins having the strong record that they do and the Colts on the outside looking in, my goodness, 10-6 may not be good enough to make the playoffs this year. You're going to have to solidify victories down the stretch, and I'm sure that the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans both know that, although the Titans do have their eyes on the AFC South. So we're going to get into this matchup, but first we have to preview the Tennessee Titans, what they did this week. What are the headlines this week? Oh, wait a minute. There weren't any outside of injuries. I mean, there really were no headlines this week. A.J. Brown got fined $7,000 for throwing a ball into the stands. I mean, that's about it. I mean, there were no real headlines outside of injuries this week for the Tennessee Titans. So let's just go ahead and get into the injury report for the Tennessee Titans. Who's injured? What's going on with the Tennessee Titans and the injury report? Well, it's not great news yet again. Not horrible news, but not great news. And let's go ahead and start with Jonnu Smith. That is right. Jonnu Smith will be out for this game with a knee injury. Did not practice Wednesday, Thursday, nor Friday, the tight end for the Tennessee Titans. Now, he had a big goose egg last week as he had 0 catches, 0 yards, 0 everything last week. So he didn't make his presence known last week. So some of you may say this isn't a big deal, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all season long. He's been a reliable weapon for Ryan Tannehill in the red zone, and he will certainly be missed. Now, Anthony Fercer. This is the backup tight end, at least, you know, in terms of pass catching for sure for the Tennessee Titans. And he missed Wednesday and Thursday's practice, did participate Friday, and will play this upcoming game. So, and by the way, he missed Wednesday and Thursday for a non-injury related absence. So he will be healthy and ready to go, and he's going to be relied upon in the passing game. And, you know, he is, some would argue, the more reliable pass catcher between he and Jonnu Smith. I would even argue that, although Jonnu Smith is much more dangerous because Jonnu Smith is much more dangerous with the ball in his hands, but in terms of route running, in terms of hands, Anthony Fercer has that edge. Michael Pruitt, the other backup tight end for the Tennessee Titans, he's fully healthy. He participated Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. He'll play, so it'll be nice to have him out there. And then don't forget, the Titans also have Jeff Swain. So you're looking at this Jonnu Smith injury. It's not too harsh. It's not going to be too much of an impact on the Tennessee Titans. To me, we are talking about having Michael Pruitt, Anthony Fercer, and Jeff Swain. And Jeff Swain has played well in backup duties, in relief duties for the Tennessee Titans this season. He had 3 catches last week for 30 yards. He's been consistent in terms of run blocking. I've liked his run blocking abilities. So I still feel comfortable with this Tennessee Titans tight end room heading into this upcoming game, but Jonnu Smith will certainly be missed a little bit. Adoree Jackson, will he ever play? I mean, this is the question. He didn't practice Wednesday, Thursday, nor Friday. He hasn't practiced this season. I mean, he's been on the roster, either on IR or actually on the active roster as he is now, all season long, but he hasn't had a chance in hell to actually play. I don't think I've ever actually seen anything like this. A player that has not been on IR the whole season. Well, he was on IR to start this season, but essentially for most seasons has not been on IR and still has not played and just he won't play. I think he's really going to go all 17 weeks without playing. And this is not me having any inside knowledge. This is just me looking at the fact that he hasn't played. Why should I ever believe he's going to play at this point? Why should I believe that? So we keep on waiting. Adoree Jackson. By the time he comes back, it could be the playoffs. Will he even be in football shape? Will he be in the football mentality to just go on the field and compete in the playoffs? I mean, hell, you trot him out there, he's still going to be our best cover corner, maybe next to Desmond King. But still, I mean, it's just, it's concerning, you know, especially when we're talking about this potential Super Bowl run that we're trying to make. You know, if you had to go up against Patrick Mahomes and even the Pittsburgh Steelers and their aerial attack, we need all the cornerbacks we can get. Can we get Adoree Jackson healthy? What's going on? Do I have to go talk to Buddha? You know, what type of God do I need to talk to heal the injury going on with Adoree Jackson? I mean, let's call Wolverine. Let's get vibranium in his system, whatever we need to do. We need to get Adoree Jackson back on the field immediately, okay, please? So that's it for those guys. We also have Isaiah Wilson, who's going to be out for this game for an illness. I don't know what illness. I don't think it's COVID-19. Who knows? Maybe it's COVID-20 with this guy. I'm sure he's creating new diseases every weekend he goes out. I don't know what's going on with Isaiah Wilson. And then we have Roger Saffold and Jeffrey Simmons. Both questionable, but I think both will play. Saffold, he's been a little banged up lately. I think he'll play. Simmons, I think, is definitely playing. I would expect Jeffrey Simmons to play. If he doesn't, oh my God, okay, we're in big trouble as we go up against this Cleveland Browns run game. And speaking of the Cleveland Browns, let's look at their injury report, and what do we see? Well, we see Denzel Ward will be out for this game with a calf injury. This is good news for us. This is the Cleveland Browns' best cover corner, best cornerback overall. Having him out is huge for us. This will allow us to attack their cornerbacks with A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. We have Corey in the house. We move on to Cadaryl Hodge. Now, you may not know who this is. I barely know who it is, but this guy has been making plays for the Browns in the receiving game, which is saying something because the Browns don't have much of a receiving game this season ever since Odell Beckham Jr. has been injured. So there's an injury to look out for. Taywan Taylor is out. Hey, that's a familiar name. Who cares? He's always out, whether he's on the injury report or, being injured, or whether or not he's playing. He's still out. He's still not going to play. He's still not going to contribute on the field, whether he's on the injury report or not. So this doesn't really matter to any of us. And then we also have, what else? Nick Harris. This isn't really important. And then Vincent Taylor, not a big deal. So the biggest deal here for sure, though, Denzel Ward, cornerback for the Cleveland Browns, will be out. And then Cadaryl Hodge. This is kind of a deal because, when you look at this Browns aerial attack, you're only talking about 3 wide receivers right now. You're talking about Jarvis Landry, who you absolutely have to dedicate at least 2 people to. 1 quarterback, 1 safety following around Jarvis Landry. Now, luckily, he's not, particularly fast enough and quick enough to beat you over the top. So you don't have to even, have the safety have a huge cushion there. Just, be watching Jarvis Landry for sure. And then, Donovan Peoples-Jones. And then Rashard Higgins, and that's it. And then Austin Hooper, the tight end. Outside of that, they don't have anyone. There's no one that you really fear. Even those guys, you only fear Jarvis Landry and Austin Hooper a little bit. That's all you fear in this Cleveland Browns passing attack. There's a reason why they're 30th in the league in the passing game, and that's including their time with Odell, okay, which is half the season, but still that's including their time with Odell. And that's including Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in the receiving game, by the way. And still they can't throw the ball, okay? So that's problematic, and that's where we're going to take advantage of this team. So with that said, how can we beat the Cleveland Browns? What are the tighten up keys to the game? How can the Tennessee Titans go to Nashville, not even go to Nashville, stay in Nashville, welcome the Cleveland Browns, and defeat them this upcoming Sunday? Well, it all starts with that Cleveland Browns running attack, because let me tell you again, man, their passing attack is so piss poor, but their run game, oh my God, it can be dominant. Even if they don't put up points, they only put up, I want to say 10 points against the Houston Texans a couple weeks ago, but they had like 250 rushing yards. It was insane. They just run the ball extremely well with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. It's such a dynamic duo, such a dangerous duo. And Nick Chubb is back. He's healthy. He's breaking tackles. He's averaging over 6 yards a carry. The guy's an absolute phenom. If healthy, I think he's a top 5 running back in this league. He is absolutely dangerous. You absolutely have to stop this Cleveland Browns run game. That is how you have success against this football team. Baker Mayfield, this guy, look, I still have faith in him overall, but he's lost a lot of his confidence at this point. His NFL career, I think he's going to, continue to be a starter, but I think in the future it's definitely going to be up for debate whether or not he's going to be a starting quarterback soon in this league if he continues this level of play. A lot of people are giving credit to Kevin Stefanski for, rebuilding this Browns offense. I still don't think it's particularly good. I think the defense is the reason why this Browns team is even competing, and they've had an easy schedule. They faced the NFC East, okay? They've beaten the Cowboys, they've beaten the Washington football team, they've beaten the Eagles, and have they faced the other team? They haven't faced the Giants yet, but the 3-0 against the NFC East, congratulations. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars by 2 points last week. They beat the Texans by 3. They beat the Bengals by 3. This is not, and they beat the Bengals by 5 week 2. This is not an impressive team, but you absolutely have to stop the run. If you do not stop the run against Cleveland Browns, you will open the opportunity for them to actually put up points on you. But if you can slow down the run game, you're going to force Baker Mayfield into number 2, and then it's to force some more turnovers. We saw last week this Tennessee Titans defense beginning to force some turnovers. We saw Breon Borders, after dropping an interception, come down with a crucial interception later on in the game. We saw Malcolm Butler almost come up with a turnover himself. We saw, Kenny Vaccaro, not Kenny Vaccaro, Amani Hooker almost forced a fumble in last week's game. forcing turnovers, getting our hands on the ball. We force Phillip Rivers. We got some pressure on Phillip Rivers. How about Te'Ar Tart, who got some pressure on Phillip Rivers and forced him into some bad throws? We have to do this for Baker Mayfield. Now, this Cleveland Browns offensive line, it is particularly impressive, including the former Tennessee Titan himself, Jack Conklin, who is in at right tackle. But they are susceptible to the occasional pass rush. So, although our pass rush is awful, we have 14 sacks through 11 games, which is incredibly awful. We have to do the most that we can to get pressure on their quarterback, get pressure on Baker Mayfield, and continue to force turnovers. That's going to be big in this game. We get 1-2 turnovers. There's no reason why we shouldn't win this game. And then number 3, just keep the offense rolling. I wanted to say feed the king. I wanted to say long live the king. I wanted to say, you can feel it, A.J. Brown. I want everybody eating. This Cleveland Browns defense is pretty balanced. They have a decent run defense. They have a decent pass defense. But, we just faced Indianapolis Colts twice now in the past 3-4 weeks. The Colts had one of the top rush defenses in the league until they faced us. And then Derrick Henry ripped them to shreds. So although I look at this Cleveland Browns run defense and it's borderline top 10, I'm not afraid because the Colts rush defense was top 5. Now it's like 7th because they faced us, right? Because we decimated them. So I don't care if Myles Garrett, who by the way is back from this game, recovered from COVID-19. I don't care if he's out there. We can run the ball on them. We can throw the ball on them. No Denzel Ward. Throw it to A.J. Brown. Throw it to Corey Davis. Throw it to no Jonnu Smith today, but throw it to Anthony Fercer. Continue to distribute the ball around offensively. And the biggest thing, again, defensively, gotta stop the run, gotta force some turnovers, and I will feel good about this game. Now, what is my prediction for this game? Well, so we were extremely dominant against the Buffalo Bills. Remember that performance? And the Indianapolis Colts yesterday. And those are by far the 2 most impressive performances for us. The performances that are our trademark performances, our bookmark performances that I would love to see us repeat in this game. Unfortunately, I think we're going to roll back to the Tennessee Titans, who they've mostly been in 2020, which is allowing a team to either hang around or to even get up early and us having to work a little bit more than we should in order to win the game. I think that's more so what we're going to see in this game. But I think ultimately we'll do the things that we need to do. I trust Ryan Tannehill way more than Baker Mayfield late in the game. And I trust Derrick Henry ultimately to lead us to the promised land. So give me the Tennessee Titans to beat the Cleveland Browns 29-27. Again, I look at the Cleveland Browns. They're 3-0 against the NFCs. Look at their last 5 games. They beat the Jaguars by 2. They beat the Eagles by 5. They beat the Texans by 3. They lost to the Raiders by 10 in Cleveland. And they beat the Bengals by 2. And the game before that, by the way, they got beat by the Steelers 38-7. This is not a very good football team. Look, they're able to win the games that they can, but they don't put up many points against bad defenses. And I think they're going to put up points against us because, that's just what we do. We just give up points. But I think ultimately we have what it takes. We're more battle tested over the past number of years, and the Browns, they're not ready for all this smoke. So give me the Tennessee Titans to win this game at home. So there you go. That's my prediction for the Tennessee Titans versus the Cleveland Browns. What is your prediction? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to comment, like, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.